Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United's strongest possible lineup if they return versus Newcastle. So I'm going to go with the 4-2-2 formation. So in goal, David De Gea. David De Gea is now back to his best. De Gea deserves credit because he's done really well so far this season. De Gea was in goal for our last game against Norwich and he got man of the match for that game. He made some good saves to deny Timu Puki. He also denied Kabat twice from 2 headed chances. De Gea wants to spend many more years at Manchester United. Well, this season is his 11th season at Man United, so he has been a very long servant. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. He's won everything domestically at the football club and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. He's made over 300 appearances in the Premier League. De Gea has got under 2 years left on his current contract and he receives £375,000 a week. Revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed the #1 spot back as he decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place, and at that point it said De Gea is determined to fight for his Man United future. Revert back to 2015, De Gea was close to making a move to Real Madrid on deadline day, but his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise due to a fax machine. At right back, Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot played against Norwich the other week. I don't think he was too good in that game. He obviously got a yellow card in that game. I thought Diego Dalot was far superior in the games against Crystal Palace and Arsenal than he was against Norwich. Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan. So reflecting on that, again, some experience, Manchester United got Diego Dalot from Porto for around £19 million. The 2 centre-backs, I'm going to go with Rafael Varan and Harry Maguire. Rafael Varan should be available for the game against Newcastle. That's if the game goes ahead. You know, Varan, he's been out with a hamstring injury. He hasn't played since the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. Revert back to earlier on in the season, Varan had a groin injury and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. But Varan is close to returning because it did say if the game against Brighton would have gone ahead last weekend, it said Varan could have made his return. Manchester United got Rafael Varan in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 34 million up front. Varan has got a contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year. Varan is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. You know, he's highly experienced and he's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at Real Madrid. He was a long-serving player as well at Real Madrid before he come to Man United. So I think, yeah, Varan will replace Lindelof. Harry Maguire, he obviously played against Norwich the other week. I don't think he was too good in that game. He was struggling to get the ball out from the back. He did have a good chance in the game against Norwich from a header from the edge of the box, produced a good save from Tim Krul. Maguire did well in the 1-0 win against Crystal Palace earlier on in the season, but that was the best game he endured for a while. Maguire has done nowhere near as well at Manchester United as a lot of Manchester United fans expected. He's endured a lot of bad games, but he's had some good games as well. Earlier on in the season, Maguire had a calf injury, and towards the end of last season, he had ligament damage in his ankle. Manchester United overpaid for Maguire, got him for 80 million, so he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and the second most expensive signing at the club, behind Pogba. Now, at left-back, I'm going to go with Alex Telles. Telles is undroppable at the moment. He's put some very good performances out in recent weeks. Telles obviously played against Norwich. I don't think he was brilliant though against Norwich. He did have a good chance in the game from a free kick, hit the crossbar. Telles was far superior in the games against Crystal Palace, Arsenal and Chelsea than he was against Norwich. Obviously, Telles has played a lot of football in recent weeks because obviously Luke Shaw did have that concussion. Luke Shaw missed like 4 games in a row in all competitions. Obviously, Luke Shaw's back now from that concussion. Shaw did play the 1-1 draw against Young Boys the other week. Telles, earlier on in the season, he had an injury. The reason Manchester United brought Telles in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Manchester United got Telles for 15.4 million from Porto, with add-ons included. Now, the 2 centre defensive midfielders, I'm going to go with Fred and Scott McTominay. Fred, I've been very impressed with him in recent weeks, and I hope he can persist with these good performances. Fred was very good against Norwich. He was probably our best outfield player. Fred was also very good in the 1-0 win against Crystal Palace. He scored a stunning goal late on in that game. Wasn't only his goal why he was good against Crystal Palace. His overall performance was good. I thought his movement was good. He kept the ball well. He got into good positions and his passing was sublime. Fred also played well in the 3-2 win against Arsenal because in that game he got an assist and he won the penalty. And he did well in the 1-1 draw in the 1-1 draw against Chelsea. If you do remember rightly, he squandered a chance in that game. That came from a mistake from the Chelsea goalkeeper. Manchester United got Fred for around 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk a few years ago now. Scott McTominay, I've got my reservations about him. I don't think he's good enough to represent the club. I don't think he can get to that level where we want him to be at. Don't get him wrong, McTominay's had his good games at Man United. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay committed his future to the club because he did sign a 5-year contract. Now, the 2 attacking midfielders, I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandez and Mason Greenwood. Bruno Fernandez, obviously he played against Norwich. Fernandez was very poor against Norwich because he got dispossessed far too many times. Fernandez had chances in the game against Crystal Palace, but he couldn't convert them chances. The last goal Fernandez scored was the 3-2 win against Arsenal, and I think the last assist he provided in the Premier League was the 3-0 win against Tottenham. Fernandez has endured a lot of poor games this season, and I'm shocked in that aspect because last season Bruno Fernandez was exceptional. And I have said Ralf Rangnick should consider giving Bruno Fernandes a rest. But let me put into the equation that Fernandes starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games, so reflecting on that, he will become fatigued. But Fernandes is one of our best players, and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. You know, Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years. Man United got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Earlier on in the season, Fernandes made it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. And when he first came to Man United, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." Fernandes is under contract to Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Earlier on in the season, there was talks about Fernandes extending his contract. Mason Greenwood, I think he's done really well since he recovered from COVID. Greenwood didn't start last weekend against Norwich, but he come on. Greenwood obviously started in the 1-1 draw against Young Boys. He played very well in that one. He scored a very good volley. Greenwood got the assist for the Fred goal in the 1-0 win against Crystal Palace. As you all know, it's recently said that Greenwood is upset that Cristiano Ronaldo always starts. And back in 2019, it said Manchester United offered Mason Greenwood a life-changing amount of money for him to leave the club. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. The two strikers, I'm going to go with Edinson Cavani and Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, Edinson Cavani should be available for this game. Cavani has still got an injury at the moment. Cavani had injury earlier on in the season. Looks like Cavani is leaving Manchester United next month. Cavani has reportedly agreed personal terms with Barcelona, but Manchester United are reluctant to let Edinson Cavani leave on a free transfer in January. I think I heard that Man United want around £30 million. Cavani only wants a short-term contract with Barcelona until the end of the season. Obviously, Barcelona are seeing Cavani as a replacement for Aguero because Aguero recently retired due to heart problems. Recently, Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. Well, let's be honest, Cavani initially lost his place in the team with the club re-signing Ronaldo last summer. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020, was it? And I've got to say, Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. Not only that, he was a long-serving player when he was at PSG, and this season's been his second full season at Man United. Let me put into the equation, Cavani and Ronaldo did play together in the 3-0 win against Tottenham, and Cavani and Ronaldo did complement each other well. Cristiano Ronaldo, he obviously scored the winning goal from the penalty spot in the 1-0 win against Norwich. Ronaldo obviously won the penalty as he got dragged down by Max Aarons. So Ronaldo now has 13 goals in all competitions since he re-signed for Man United, and he's got 802 goals in his career. You know, Ronaldo is the best player in the world overall. You know, he's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Revert back to October, he got named Player of the Month, and back in September he got named Premier League Player of the Month, so that's back-to-back awards since he re-signed. He's got a contract with Man United until 2023, there's an option of a further year, and Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. He wears a number 7 shirt, and Man United got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. So yeah, that's the strongest possible lineup against Newcastle on the 27th of December. Paul Pogba, as you all know, he's still out with a thigh injury. Pogba is out for the rest of the year. Pogba's been stepping up his recovery though, because not so long ago he returned from Dubai. You know, Manchester United could sell Pogba next month. Rangnick's already said that he won't try to convince Pogba to stay at Man United if he wants to go. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. At the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Martial, he's got, I think, a minor injury, but he doesn't really get in the team anyway. It looks like Martial is leaving Manchester United in January, because the other week Anthony Martial's agent confirmed that Anthony Martial wants to leave Manchester United in January. Manchester United have set a £30 million asking price on Martial. There's a few clubs that want him. It said yesterday that Newcastle want Martial on loan, and Newcastle are ready to pay a £6 million loan fee to sign Martial. I've heard that Arsenal are interested in him. Juventus also want him on loan. Recently, he said Atletico Madrid are planning a swap deal. Barcelona have also been in for him. Not so long ago, Rangnick revealed that he'd not spoken with Martial, and Rangnick told Martial to speak with him directly, you know, if he wants to leave the club. Juan Mata, obviously, he's been out with illness. Matic, he's also had a cold. And Lindelof, I think he's still got that chest injury. Lindelof had to come off against Norwich because he was suffering breathing difficulties and chest pains. If this game against Newcastle goes ahead and Manchester United win, that will be 4 wins in a row in the Premier League. Now obviously last week Manchester United had 2 games postponed due to COVID. You know, Manchester United's game against Brentford got postponed, and obviously Manchester United's game last weekend against Brighton got postponed. Obviously a lot of other games have been postponed as well. I am expecting Manchester United to beat Newcastle. You know, Newcastle are a very, very poor team. Newcastle are relegation fodder. I can assure Newcastle will be getting relegated this season. Newcastle recently lost 4-0 to Man City. Now, back in October, Newcastle had that £300 million takeover by the Saudi Arabians. Obviously, before the Saudi Arabians, Newcastle had Mike Ashley. Mike Ashley was at Newcastle for around 13 years or so. And obviously Mike Ashley, was heavily criticised. But obviously now Newcastle have got the Saudi Arabians in, they're planning to invest heavily, next year. Newcastle's current manager is Eddie Howe. Newcastle appointed him in earlier on in the season. When he got appointed in, Eddie Howe signed a 2.5-year contract. Before Newcastle, Eddie Howe managed Bournemouth. He was at Bournemouth for a long time. And before then, he managed Burnley. Before Eddie Howe, Newcastle had Steve Bruce. Obviously, Newcastle sacked him earlier on in the season. And before Steve Bruce, they had Rafa Benitez. Obviously, Rafa Benitez resigned because he wasn't getting enough backing. I think a lot of Newcastle fans were disappointed when Rafa Benitez left. Now, I do know quite a few of the players that Newcastle have got. Obviously, they've got Callum Wilson. He's a former Bournemouth player. They've also got Ryan Fraser. He's a former Bournemouth player. They've also got Joe Linton. They've also got Dwight Gale. They've also got Alan Saint-Maximin. He's very, very good. He's probably one of the best players that Newcastle have got. He's just come back from injury not so long ago. Newcastle have also got John Joe Shelvey. I think he's got... Is it an illness now or something like that? But yeah, John Joe Shelvey is a former Liverpool and Swansea player. Newcastle have also got Isaac Hayden. They've also got Sean Longstaff. Sean Longstaff is brothers with Matty Longstaff. Matty Longstaff is out on loan with Aberdeen at the moment. Newcastle have also got Jacob Murphy and Elliot Anderson. Newcastle have also got Almiron. They've got Paul Dummett. Paul Dummett is out with injury at the moment. Newcastle have also got Jeff Henry. They've got Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis has got an injury at the moment. I think Newcastle got Jamal Lewis from Norwich. They've also got Federico Fernandez. He's also got an injury at the moment. They've also got Manquillo. I think he's out with an injury. They've got Matt Ritchie and Kieran Clark as well. They've got Joseph Willock. Obviously Newcastle's goalkeepers, they've got Carl Darlow, and the other goalkeeper they've got is Dubravka. So they are quite a few of the players that Newcastle have got. Manchester United have got a very good record against Newcastle. Man United seldom lose to them. Man United won the game at St James's Park last season 4-1. Manchester United beat Newcastle earlier on in the season at Old Trafford 4-1. And that was the game when Ronaldo scored twice on his second debut. Ralph Rangnick, he's enjoyed a very good start to his managerial career at Manchester United. So far he's unbeaten. Reflecting on the win against Norwich, that was back-to-back wins in the Premier League for Ralf Rangnick. You know, if Rangnick does well as the interim manager, there's a chance he'll get the Man United job on a permanent basis. Well, at the moment, Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then after that, Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Obviously, Rangnick has been given a £100 million transfer budget for January, so he can get quite a few players out of that. Obviously, you know the news on Boubacar Kamara. It said the other day that Man United are in advanced talks to sign Boubacar Kamara as the first transfer of the Ralf Rangnick era. And El Nacional said that Boubacar Kamara is close to joining Manchester United. You know, Barcelona have been in for him. Revert back to deadline day last summer, Boubacar Kamara was close to making a move to the Premier League because Newcastle and Wolves went in for him. You know, Kamara's currently at Marseille. He's been at Marseille all his life. He joined Marseille as a 5-year-old back in 2005, so risen up their academy in that. He's been in Marseille's senior squad since 2016. He's made over 100 appearances for Marseille. His current contract at Marseille expires at the end of the season. He's predominantly a holding midfielder, he's Boubacar Kamara, but he can also be deployed as a centre-back. He's only the age of 22, so still young, got a lot of development in him. As you all know, Rangnick's identified Man United's midfield as a weakness. Man United have also been interested in Amadou Haidara. Obviously, Rangnick knows Amadou Haidara well, because Rangnick used to manage RB Leipzig. Not so long ago, Amadou Haidara admitted he's a Manchester United fan, and he's also a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Earlier on in the season, Rangnick said he wants Amadou Haidara as his first signing as Man United manager. He has a £33 million release clause. And other players, you know, Man United have been interesting as well. You know, Rudiger, Frankie de Jong, Timo Werner's been mentioned as well. You know, Jude Bellingham, Calvin Phillips have been mentioned, and Erling Haaland's also been mentioned. It recently said that Erling Haaland can leave Borussia Dortmund, and it said last week that Man United are currently only the serious bidder for Erling Haaland, but will have to qualify for the Champions League to get Haaland. But you know, Rangnick is going to be focusing on the outgoings next year as well as the incomings. And I can assure at the end of the season that Manchester United will get a permanent manager. You know, that Ruben Amorim has been spoken about. He said Manchester United and Leeds both want Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim has a 25 million release clause. He's currently the manager of Sporting Lisbon. He's been Sporting Lisbon manager for almost 2 years, and he's got a contract with them until 2023. Amorim has actually advised Manchester United to hire Erik ten Hag. Before Sporting Lisbon, he managed Braga, and before then he managed Casapia. You know, he's a very young coach because he's only the age of 36. Pochettino's been linked with a permanent role at Man United, so too was Erik ten Hag. Not so long ago it said Erik ten Hag was the favourite. Earlier on in the season, Brendan Rodgers was mentioned, but I initially disregarded Rodgers because earlier on in the season it said Brendan Rodgers dismissed links to the Man United job. You know, he said, "I'm proud to be at Leicester." And the other week, Roberto Mancini was also mentioned. You know, Manchester United have sat 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. You know, we sat Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and a month ago Manchester United sat Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe, as always, there'll be more videos coming up later on today.